My name is Isabel Nguyen. I'm a third year art student. But if you were to ask anyone else that isn't really into art, they'll probably say like, "Oh wow, it looks beautiful. It looks pretty." But then it doesn't have any soul to it. Like if you were to look at like something like Leonardo da Vinci, you can see like, oh, it has a piece of the artist in it. It's not just about the end product of it. You're looking about what the artist has put into it so that you could feel that connection to it. Oh wow. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty abysmal. It's not going very good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the term starving artist. Yeah, it's true. Like, it is rough out there. But anyway, but honestly, I think that in the future, I think humans will still be creating art, whether or not there's like jobs. There's like a want for jobs in it. People will still be creating art. It's like when photography was introduced. It was a new technology, and people were thinking like, oh, it's gonna replace portrait artists, like, oh, their jobs are gone. But we're in the future now, and people are still drawing, and people are still making photography, but they both still coexist with each other. So I think we'll find a way around this.
I hope. Okay. Third question. Three, two, one. Action. Have you or anyone else you know ever seen your face, identity, or likeness being manipulated by generative AI without your knowledge or consent?
I mean, not that I know of. Oh my god. Hopefully not. That would be very bad. Like, I couldn't imagine what they would use it for. Imagine, like, what would you use it for? I mean, you could just straight up ask me if you wanted to take a picture of me, but to like go and use my pictures to use it to put into I gotta like question what your motives are. That's kind of concerning.
So you're like thinking like there's no like ethical or moral reason that people would need that. That's what you think. Like there's
No.
no good reason.
There's
to
yeah,
use it,
it's
yeah.
like it's like having like an invisibility superpower. There's like, what would you need to use that for unless it was for something bad? That's what I'm thinking.
That's a good point.
I feel like it's kind of hard to find who's really accountable because it's like the voices of so many other people, and someone else is taking all those like thoughts and voices into one amalgamation of things. But then the AI itself can't determine whether or not it has like a human qualitative idea to it. Like there's like this one incident that happened on Character AI where a 14-year-old got advice to kill themselves from the AI, which is not a good thing. Like that's just horrible. It's so awful that they had to like be be put into that position to actually just only be talking to AI and not an actual person, and then for that AI to actually tell them to end their lives. Honestly, I don't even know if there is a way to make it ethical, but I guess one way you could make it slightly better is to actually compensate the artist that you take from. And maybe, I don't know, ask for their permission, because most of it is just stolen anyways. Like, you could just pay them, or I think we could also make laws to copyright art so that you can't, like, use it without permission and stuff. And also, I heard there's like environmental consequences as well. It's like burning down rainforests and stuff, and it's just using a ton of amount of like resources just to keep it running, and money probably too. It's like expensive. It's bad for the environment. It's just so ass. There's nothing good about it. It should be used as a tool. Like, of course, there's with the cons. There's also pros to it. Like, I can't really deny. Like, it should be used as a tool to help people with like very, what's the word, repetitive tasks. Like, I've heard it could help in like in a hospital sense. Maybe it could help like do like office work, or I don't know. But it shouldn't be doing the actual like surgery. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a good analogy. Another point. Yeah. Click that. See? Also, this banana bread's so good. Shout out to these guys for feeding me. But in Date Everything, they're a game company made by actors and artists who were fed up with AI. They're strictly 100% anti AI. They're like amazing. It's like They actually support their voice actors, and they everything's just such a good game. Like there's like over 3 million words of it, and it took over 7 years of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. If you wanted to support an anti AI company, play Date Everything. It's an amazing game. Our old people. So you guys, you know what I'm worried about? Old people. They're really gullible. Of course, I'm pretty gullible too. If you told me gullible was on the ceiling, I'd probably look up. But no, like see, some people they don't understand the point of art. I think it's like it's always those AI are um dick writers. Can I put that in? Those AI dick writers. Okay, they support AI because they don't understand it. They just think they only think about the product. They don't think about the actual process of making art and why people do it. See, I do it because I enjoy the process. And then it's also the struggle. It's hours of hard work and perfecting your art. And that's the joy and happiness you get from actually seeing the end product instead of just taking 0.5 milliseconds to just generate some shitty guy that has like 6 extra fingers and like uses like the Ghibli art style. Like, ew. Ugh. That looks so ass.
I'm Danielle, and I'm a second year in the social work program. I think, first of all, what separates human made versus AI art is the depth. It's hard to get any like real emotional depth out of like AI made. For me, I've always felt like it doesn't have a soul. You know what I mean? I think that when an artist creates something, they breathe life into it. They put their soul into it. That's what I think. It lacks any like novelty or anything like that because it's basically just uh, like taking from other sources. It's not like making anything original. I think that's a big difference. Like um, artists, we have creativity and we can create new things. AI just regurgitates what's already made. And for the ethics of it, I think that it's complicated because for me, what I think is that it's basically stealing. It's like stealing other people's artwork. It's just because they can't make something out of nothing. It's just like copy and pasting and like making like smushing everything together into some like amalgamations. It's not very ethical in my opinion, and also like not just from like an artistic perspective, but also for the environment. I feel like it's very harmful with the amount of like the harm and waste that data centers are producing with like water waste and like energy problems, and it's creating issues for the communities that live near these like brand new AI databases and things like that. I'm not a fan of it. I think as an artist, it's very scary for us knowing that a lot of like our jobs are being replaced by AI, like design jobs and making logos and websites, things like that. But also, it's not even just concerning for artists. I feel like for everyone, like computer programmers, like a lot of the coding process is replaced by AI now. My mom works as an AI developer, and she tells me about how much like how many people like they've laid off because they can shorten so much processes with the AI. They don't need to do so much like manual labor doing like the coding and everything. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Oh yeah, of course. Are there any positive aspects, do you think?
I think there's definitely positive aspects in a way. I've heard recently there's developments for like disability aids. Like I've I don't know like the specifics, but I've heard details about like glasses that use AI that can help like um, visually impaired or hard of hearing people with the glasses will like use AI to describe the surroundings like whatever it sees. I think like things like that. It's definitely a positive. It there's a lot of especially for people with disabilities, even online like on social media. Um, I'm actually visually impaired, so it's hard for me to see. Sometimes I need like audio like help, and there's a AI like transcribers and like things that will read out loud for you, and I think that's really helpful in that sense. Yes, unfortunately, this happened very recently to one of my friends. She's also an artist, and she has a big following, so a lot of people see her profile online. And she would sometimes post selfies of herself online. And one person decided to save all of her selfies and used AI to generate pictures of her naked. And they sent it to her, and they said that they'll send it to like everyone she follows unless she sends her like $1,000, something like that, which was really like that's so like scary and unfortunate, especially for like a young woman. She's 19, and they took photos of her from when she was like 17 as well, which is very like it's scary. It's very scary. I guess it's hard to find where the AI sources its like material from. I think it heavily depends. Like for example, there's some AIs that have been like programmed to speak a certain way. Like for example, like Elon Musk's Grok. I feel like it puts certain. They definitely programmed it to speak a certain way. So I think in that case, I think that you could put the blame on the developers. Like a positive way would be like the disability aids as well, and there's also developments in the medical field as well, like programs that can help detect cancer before it becomes like too late, things like that, like detecting like tumors and any other like health concerns. I think that could definitely be a positive path to go down. Um, I think unfortunately, as of right now, there's a lot of bad people out there who use AI in the wrong ways. Can you repeat the question?
Oh right. What do you think has been like improved like in this world with the help of AI?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't think.
You're on the right track with the medical field.
Yeah.
That is a strong one.
I think that's my main thing. The medical field and the disability aids, for me, those are the biggest plus sides that I can think of. I think it's definitely people losing creativity, losing like brain function as well. There's been studies with them that my mom was telling me about how her company they were doing studies with people with like AI usage, and they're monitoring the left side of their brain, which is like I'm pretty sure I think that's the creativity side, and they were like losing function in that side. It was literally like making them dumber the more they used AI. I think relying on AI for everything, it's so like that's the biggest consequence for me. I've even noticed it as a lot as a student as well. A lot of my classmates, they just let AI do everything for them, and it's so frustrating from like an academic standpoint and even just like morality. I'm like, you're letting a robot think for you basically. Like you have they can't do anything for themselves anymore. It's so like it's sad, and it's just I think it's just a natural consequence of using AI for everything. It's like people are getting lazy, and like they have no creativity. There's no point they see no point in having like putting effort into making art or anything like that, which is it's it's part of what makes us human. I think art is definitely a big like a thing with culture and humanity, in my opinion. She works from home and she lets AI do so much for her, and she makes a lot of money doing it, and it's really concerning from a job standpoint because like these are my competitors basically in the job field, like for anyone going into like IT and like computer sciences. It's really concerning seeing like people at the top of the chain and they let AI do everything. It's like, what can we even do at this point, you know?
I don't really know if I think there is an ethical way to use generative AI, because the very basis of it is just regurgitating information. I think maybe it's more convenient, and the alternative to generative AI, it takes a little more effort on the user's part. But even if everyone consented to their data being used for AI and it was all like perfectly fine in that sense, AI is horrible for like the environment. It doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It runs on these large data centers that need like an insane amount of electricity and water to fuel them. So even outside of the ethics around like plagiarism and the realm of that, just from an environmental standpoint, I think the alternatives, whether or not they're more convenient, are way more ethical, and we need to be investing our time into that. Our society runs on so much things being just like, oh, here's a quick thing, instant gratification. AI will give you that, but the the stake is like our own like cognitive um, like thinking for ourselves and also like the environment. So I think whether or not it's ethical, which I believe is unethical, but maybe people have different opinions on that, isn't maybe the biggest concern in some senses, where you can look at the clear data that it's terrible for the environment, and we should all be very aware of that. So I never know how to finish things. So yeah. The most significant consequence is that people will forget how to critically think for themselves. People are already just reaching for AI for forming an opinion. They go to AI for advice, for therapy, as a replacement for a friend, as a replacement for their critical thinking, for creativity, and people will just kind of forget how to do that by themselves. And that becomes really dangerous, because then the companies in charge of AI, in charge of the data they're putting into them, can so easily influence the people who are using that AI to form their own thoughts. And how easily AI can, like, people have killed themselves because of this technology. Companies can so easily manipulate the people, because the people are trusting this AI. They believe that somehow it has its own sentience and agency. And if these companies want to use that to make people ignorant to social issues, or just not critically thinking about what the fact that they're doing, people will be too stupid to realize what's happening around us. The world is so dystopian right now. Like, I think we're already too like accustomed to how horrifying the world is, and how horrifying AI just is as a concept, that this thing can just replace human thought, and is already like increasing in technology like faster than the programmers can understand it. It's horrifying. From a specifically artistic standpoint, human art is so like sacred and important, and it's something that I believe like we all can do. Everyone is an artist, and it's something we kind of forget as we grow up. But every child can draw, and whether or not it's something good isn't really what art's about. And kind of forgetting that you hold that, or that you can. Like, some of the saddest things I hear from people is like, oh, I use AI because I'm not talented enough to draw. Like, I can't draw. And it's, I guess, this idea that like any artist is just born knowing how to draw, but that's, maybe some people have some more of like an inclination towards it, but it takes so much practice, and that's the satisfaction from it. People aren't going to be experiencing that satisfaction of putting so much time and effort to something, creating something, and it takes frustration, it takes like pain sometimes, but you create something, you're very proud of it and happy. Whereas with AI, it just creates some slop, and it's like, okay, I'm happy with it, but you didn't have to actually work for any of it. But I'm sure whatever I post on Instagram is being used to train data every day, which is just awesome. I have had some artist friends, so I guess not their exact likeness, but their like particular art styles being reproduced in AI, and like the exact characters that they've created for their own stories and purposes being kind of repurposed in this AI. Um, and unfortunately, there's not anything they can really do about it. There's no like legal things. It's a very gray area right now. even like large companies are struggling to like find ways around AI. So yeah, I have had some friends online who have experienced that, but thankfully I haven't yet. But I don't know, we'll see.
Like I get the sense that like people are starting to like this is giving them a good reason to finally like no longer respect artists, I guess. Like now that like but people who don't want to put in the effort or time to like master an artistic skill can make something. You're like, oh, I'm just as good as you now. Why should we pay you this much? Why should we respect you this much? You should get a real job like what I'm doing in accounting instead of like doodling, because now doodling it can be made with a machine. I can type it out instantly. So why should you be giving this special treatment, or why should you get to make a livelihood off of what I see as trivial? I guess it not the best answer for this at all, but like that's kind of the general vibe that I'm getting right now. Not everyone is thinking like this, obviously, but like more people are, especially people who before didn't have a good reason to, or I guess excuse, or um I don't know how to say this properly, or I guess like before, like if they said this opinion out loud, they would have been ridiculed because like obviously artists are important. No one else can do what they do. But now that we have this bad technology that can poorly recreate what they can do, now they're like getting more bold, I guess, or more confident in their stance.
Ethics. I have a lot of things to say, but I will try to make this short. Personally, there's not a lot of ethical things when it comes to generative AI, especially when it comes to the arts. I mean, most of us probably already know by now that generative AI, it steals a lot from artists, not just the hard work they put into for their digital pieces, but it also tends to like steal their like overall image as well. It can distort, it especially has this like weird power to like essentially also distort people's perception of like not just artists but also like people in general. And sorry, what was the second half of the question?
Oh, sorry. It was what separates art created by humans compared to generative AI.
Easy. It is the overall creative process. When it comes to AI art, I wouldn't call it art per se. Basically, it's just stealing a bunch of like pre-existing artwork. There's no process because it just like generates the slop pretty much easily. All you need is a couple of words and press enter and then bam. What makes art special is that there's a whole creative process behind it. People often think that it's the end process that's like the important thing, but I personally think it's like the whole process of drafting like an idea, sketching it out, even if it's messy. The whole point is that the process is supposed to be messy. It's supposed to take a while. The whole point of art is that you're not supposed to rush it. You're supposed to perfect it. And yes, there's a whole thing about like perfectionism in art and how as an artist myself, I've also struggled with perfectionism. It it gets to you. It really does, especially like feeling the envy from other artists who you considered more skilled than you. But the thing is, you have to remember that those skills were learned. Art Having artistic skills isn't a talent. Having artistic skills means you took the time to learn, to develop those skills. If you want to be able to create art, you have to go through the process. Just like with anything in life, there's no shortcuts. There's no easy way around it. You have to like take the process for yourself, and that can like look different for a lot of people. Especially when there's so many different kinds of art, like with acting, like visual arts, even digital. There's different techniques, different fundamentals. You can't rush it.